How is everyone today?
First off, Bob, I want to make sure that you're not in your garage with the doors closed when you're sitting in your vehicle with it running. Okay, volume down.
Mine too.
Keep.
How is everybody? Alicia, we pray for you constantly, dear.
Yep.
So sorry that you're still going through all of this.
And let's see, we have Estella and Cora. Hi, guys.
Hi,
You're not
guys.
usually here, so that's exciting.
Not always.
54.
And Wade was the first one on.
Wade.
Well done, Wade. Yeah.
Well, it does help whenever I put like
Put it out earlier.
put it out earlier. If I do it early in the morning, then everybody seems to get it. I found whenever I forget time and then I do one really late, it doesn't actually show up for a lot of people. So that's
Semper's mom. Hi.
my bad. Hi.
Hello.
Thank you so much for your emails. I really, really appreciate them. And everybody's really sweet words and what are the words I'm trying to say?
Just the kindness. We're so
Yeah.
grateful for you guys.
You know, this is, I have just never had, I've always been very strong and very healthy and all of those things. And, and I think, you know, I just kind of stopped taking my estrogen and it just went downhill from there. So I don't know how you're doing it because you haven't been doing estrogen at all.
No, I have some similar symptoms. Mine's not as bad as hers, but yeah, I definitely am tired a lot, and I know I'm better when I take my vitamins, but I'm not so good about taking those because I get side effects from them as well. So
Yeah. We did go in. That's Chloe. She's shifting the camera around.
hi, Gloria.
This is her. Chloe lives in her own world.
Hi, Karen.
We did go in today and finally pick up some. I wanted to do a bunch of research. Okay, so one of the first things that I read about magnesium, well, actually, I guess it was like the second thing, because the first one I was like, I have every one of those symptoms except for the nausea and the vomiting. Like that I have not had. But every other one I had, and they were like, if you have one or two of these, you're probably low in magnesium. And I'm like, I have all but one. And then the next thing that I went on to read, it was like, be really careful because you can overdose on magnesium and kill yourself.
Causes some heart issues, heart palpitations.
Yeah. So then I was like, okay, I'm just going to just start reading everything that I can, and I'm not just going to run to the store and get something. I want to make sure I get the right something.
Hey, Brenda. Hi, Mom. Hi, Drew.
Hi, you guys. And so, and I was really glad that I did, because, I mean, they definitely have stuff on the vitamin containers, but it made it so much easier while we were picking things
And
out.
before you guys harass her, she does have a phone call into her doctor. We're just waiting for a call back.
Yeah.
You know how the VA is.
But you know, so the thing is when I had actually had my blood drawn, and, you know, I had gone in there and said, you know, I hurt all over, and I quit taking my estrogen, and I want to get back on my estrogen. Can I do that? Since I'd been off of it for a year. And was just telling her that everything hurt. And so when she did my blood tests, she's like, you're low in everything. Like, you are low in everything. She's like, girl, you are tired and non-functioning.
They did not test specifically for magnesium.
Yeah, that's not a normal.
That's a special test.
So what I was reading, because, you know, I become obsessive about it, is my issue. That only 1% of your magnesium will show up in your blood. The rest of it shows up in your bones and your muscle tissue. So it's really hard to test for, and just because you test your blood, it's not going to give you an accurate reading. So basically what they do is they go off of your symptoms, and being that I have all of the symptoms but one, it's a definite thing.
Bob says, don't take advice from Wikipedia. Medical advice.
Not Wikipedia. You know, KJ, I'll tell you, I really love the doctor that I have, which is why I still go into Coeur d'Alene. instead of Sandpoint for my doctor, so we drive the extra distance because so she doesn't push things on me at all. And they asked me if I wanted to get the shingles shot, and I actually called Kim. Hey, itchy nose. I actually called Kim and was like, "Do I want to take the shingles shot?" She's like, "Research it."
Like, don't do anything until you've researched it.
And so then I went in there and I was like, "Well, what all is in the shingles shot?" And she's like, "Actually, they don't tell us what's in it. We hardly know what's in it. And so there's a whole bunch of stuff that you don't want to know about and she's like, I can't tell you not to take it, but I know I'm not taking it." And I was like, "Okay, I'm not taking it." So I hope that you're not having some problems from that. That would make me really sad. You know, it's such a catch-22 because if you've known anybody with shingles, it's really, really painful.
It is very, very, very painful.
My grandpa had it on his eye.
My grandpa did too. On
Really?
his eye.
Seriously?
On his eye.
That's crazy.
Not the eye that had the super long lashes. So, little side hustle here. Not hustle, but side story. I told Heather this story, but my grandpa, long time ago, used these eye drops for one of his eyes for, I don't know, glaucoma or something. And his eyelashes were like this long. And one day he said, I want you to go around the house and write your name on the bottom put a sticky note on the bottom of anything you want to keep. And I said, the only thing I want are those eye drops. I said, because dang, your eyelashes are amazing. And then like within 2 years, Latisse came out. But anyways, I thought it was a funny story. A little bit
That is funny. That is funny. Oh, Alicia, you have had shingles twice.
It's painful, isn't it?
So, it's worse for someone over 50. Kelly, you've had shingles. Shingles on Wikipedia are also called shakes, and they're made out of cedar. There's based on how you cut them is what they're called, because shingles are cut. I think shingles are cut with a machine, and shakes are split with a axe.
That's good to know. Maybe I'll do a video on that. I was thinking of doing a video on road protocols.
Yeah.
Back road protocols, because we were talking about it in the grocery store today with a neighbor.
Things you need to know.
And apparently he does not know the protocols, and I'm sure a lot of people don't. So I think I might do a video on that.
Well, and I think Kim thought that I was crazy because I was side seat driving when she first got here. I'm like, no, you need to back up and you need to go wide. I see you. And she said, go wide and wait and look and see if anybody's coming down. Because we have a 1-lane road.
You can't see me.
Scary.
I'm behind you. You can't see me.
Drew's on his break, chatting with us on the break.
That's awesome. And I saw Josh popped on. Hi, Joshua.
Hi, Joshua.
He's my annoying little brother.
So basically, we haven't done anything today. I'm gonna. I don't know if it's a mental thing or whatever, but I actually feel like I have more energy right now. We got home from the store, and then I took. It's 3 of those magnesium. It's magnesium, zinc, calcium, and D3 in it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I already have a little bit more energy. But then I went out and split logs and.
I was going to say, I don't, because I wrestled a 80-pound bag of feed out of the back of a truck that was wedged, not my truck, her truck, that was wedged between the seats, and I could not get it out. My shoulder was fighting me, and I was like, by the time I was done, I was like, I'm out, I'm done already. And then I had to carry it. So this is that's why I've gone through my water so fast. This is a nice little break.
Well, I split fire logs while she was doing that. And by the time I got the stuff prepared for tomorrow's morning's fire and a little bit extra, and I carried it in, all the muscles in my lower back just started like tightening up and spasming, and so I'm like laying on my bed when she comes back in.
We did some yard cleanup today. We're gonna do a jump run tomorrow. All those fun things.
Yeah,
on the
KJ
fire.
Yeah, and then we're gonna go hang
The
out with
behind
Darwin
the
and Randy.
scenes
Yeah.
stuff that you guys don't see, that you really don't want to see, trust me.
Yeah, that's just not fun. And it's one of those things that you just want to like get in and get done. Someone did do a short, and it was a really pretty short, and she was like, sometimes farming looks like, homesteading looks like this. And it was like all these beautiful pictures of the eggs and the cows and the goats and the green grass. And she was, and sometimes it looks like this. And I was like, ooh, that's what we look like right now. That's right now for us.
I saw one too with somebody that does like cooking in her kitchen, and she's like, "This is what my kitchen shows on video, and this is what it shows the rest of the time." And she panned over, and it was like a total mess in the background. So just the part of the video was nice.
Yeah.
We show the real here, guys.
Yeah.
Like, this is it.
It's so funny. I was editing the other day, and I was like, all of this mess. I'm like, man, we didn't even try to clean up. We just were like, let's get busy. That, I think, has been the hardest part with being exhausted. I know people live with this, and I don't want to be a whiner about it, but I have never in my life had this issue. So for me, it's like traumatizing, because I'm like, no, I should be able to get up and do all of the things and have a full day of work and then clean up after everything and be good. But if we clean up, then we're exhausted and to even do any of the work. So it just kind of turns in this thing.
No, Bob, I have not seen the doc about my shoulder yet, because I'm pretty sure they're going to need an MRI and all that stuff, and I don't got time for all that. Anyways, anyone else have tornado warnings? I was woken up at zero dark, something with my phone, weather radio, and the local sirens going off. Had to run to basement. I've never lived in an area that there's been tornadoes, so I would be terrified.
So Josh brought up the fact that with all the trial shots you took in the military, you'll be fine. Actually, when we got to Hawaii, they gave us a bunch of shots, and I went into basically a coma for 2 weeks. It was not good. I was out, like completely out, and they actually had to put a guard on me because I would get up and start walking around, but I had no idea. I was out, like had a severe reaction to the shots.
You don't even know what you're getting. They double team you. You're getting both arms at the same time.
Yeah. So I'm one of those people that has a real bad reaction to the flu shot also, so I don't ever get that either. And that was part of the call with making the decision on the shingles shot, because I just did not want to have if someone was going to have a reaction, it was going to be me, because I have all those stupid reactions to all those kinds of shots.
Well, with what happened to me after the most recent vaccine that everybody was recommended to take, I'm not going to use words, but after my most recent issue after that, I was, from that point on, I'm a little hesitant to do anything like that. And the reason I got the vaccine is because I was in the medical field and I had to.
Right.
In order to keep my job, I had to do it, and I was literally a few months away from moving here, and it was not a good time to get a new job, and it was a decision.
Yeah, it was in that really weird space of, it's not like you could just stop working and wait out the time and not work. It was just this.
And it would have been me.
Because we talked about it a lot.
It would have been me losing my insurance, and then, starting a new job and working there for like 2 to 3 months and then moving. So, so it was one of those decisions I personally regret. I'm not telling any of you that have done it that you're wrong. I'm just saying I personally regret doing it.
Andrew, are you asking me if I get free health care with the VA for non-VA injuries and stuff? Or are you asking somebody else that? Andrew was forced also with the military.
Yeah.
We had hail today, a little bit of hail.
Yeah, and it looked like...
Hey, old dirt road. Hi, guys.
When we went to...
Hi, Gloria. Hi, Mary.
When we went to town, it was coming down in the mountains. So I don't know if it was rain or snow, but...
You could see it.
You could see it, for sure.
So I am 80% unemployable. So I'm considered 100% disabled. So yeah, I get covered for everything. And then also I'm a veteran's widow, so I also have TRICARE. So if let's just say they decide my YouTube channel takes off and I make too much money, and I mean, can we wish that one? Can we pray that one into existence? They will take away my unemployability status, so then I'll just be 80%, but I'll still get covered with my TRICARE. So
40 degrees, Josh. It's 40 currently at this moment.
is it really? This stove works really well.
I just checked.
It was really cold this morning, and this morning was a morning that the fireplace did not want to start.
It was
It
fighting
took
her.
forever.
Luckily, we have the, what do you call it, the gas stove in the RV,
little,
so we can still heat up water in there while we're waiting for this to warm up the rest of the place.
So Cora says thank you both for your service. Cora, thank you for being somebody worth being in this service for. That's my new response, because that always makes me comfortable. That's totally my new response. 67 in Pennsylvania.
Thanks, Josh.
That's warm.
I just cut it, actually.
So Darla said that sometime next week we might see the 70s.
Wow.
Yeah, she said it's probably going to change, but it is on the radar for that.
That's awesome.
54. So, Bob, what are you doing in the car that you're sitting there warming up? Hi, Susan.
Is
from
it what
Prince Edward Island.
Isn't that what you said earlier?
What?
That he'd be in the car?
No, he said he was in the car and he's sitting in it because he has to warm it up.
Make sure the garage door is open. Little Ridge Farm. Hi, welcome.
So I'll tell you, behind the scenes, we have both been like super stressed because of how we feel and talking about, are we going to be able to continue with the work? We started putting the ceiling in and here in the kitchen, and I don't know, we got one, two, three, four, 5 pieces in, and we were done. We were like physically done.
Yeah.
And it's OSB, so it's not, and they're small pieces. They're cut. So I was like, well, I guess if we did a little bit every day, we would have them in. They would all be in. But I think we've decided, what the ceiling is obviously going to be the worst because you're in this position, and that's really hard for both of us right now. But I'm hoping that this magnesium stuff works fairly quickly. Someone said you should start seeing a difference within 7 days.
I hope I'm not in the bathroom constantly with this magnesium.
Well, this one is not that kind. So apparently there's kinds. There's different kinds.
Take it a little at a time, Cora says. Thank you guys for throwing out the links.
Hi, Darlene.
Make sure you thumbs up if you haven't already. We appreciate it so much. Mary's here.
Yeah, Mary made it.
Darling Livings in Canada, 7 degrees Fahrenheit. Woo!
Wow.
That's cold.
That is cold. When does it start warming up there?
Ooh, smart, KJ. Use a ladder and some leverage to help hold it up.
Yeah, I've got some 2x3s that are the right size, and but it actually goes up pretty fast. You have to, because we're screwing them in, so, it's just being in that position, and that position is even just a tiny bit, for me, is a lot. June before fleeces in July, Bob. Susan says it starts warming up there in July. This has been a long winter, a hard winter and a long winter.
But we're so grateful that we had a stove this year, wood stove. That was a game changer.
Oh, that was a total game changer.
Because the year before we were like under piles of blankets in the RV.
Let me get it.
Actually, I think the funniest thing about it was we actually acclimated to it. Kira did not. She would have like 20 blankets on her, and Heather and I would only have a couple, and we were like, okay, it wasn't so bad. It was only in the 20s.
Yeah. So, Sherry asked, what kind of magnesium are you taking? So we're taking this. I don't know if you can see it. It is Spring Valley calcium, magnesium, and zinc, plus D3 supplement in it. It's
bone and muscle health.
Bone and muscle health. Jack Chad said that she was so glad that I shared how I feel. You have been fighting the same thing for a year. You have the same thing. I'll tell you, my mom was a hypochondriac, so I don't actually, when something's going, it takes a long time for me to go to the doctor and tell people that something, is wrong. But the biggest thing, yeah, Mary, we also are taking, a multivitamin, and, there's a B complex that we're taking.
Yeah.
But the multivitamin didn't have much magnesium in it, so that was something that we were not getting in, because we've been taking these for over couple weeks now. It's been a couple of weeks now that we've been taking all this other stuff, and it just is not. But we were discussing how are we going to get this other stuff done. We have so many big projects coming up, and it was like, physically it's not going to happen. And so I was mentally preparing myself to shut the channel down. I mean, for real.
Darlene says one of the best vitamins.
Yeah, this is a good one. Because we have really tried to take it easy this winter, because of how we've been feeling. So we wanted to give our bodies time to heal. Apparently I have some bone spurs in my shoulder. Tiffany, we do have a B12 that we're taking that I got from the doctor, so we are taking that. This is just what I bought today.
It's a B complex. It has 6 and 12 and
it has all of them in
one
there.
of the others B's.
So, I asked the ER doctor about Lyme disease up here because we do have ticks. But he said in the last 20 years there's only been 9 cases of Lyme disease, so it's not really a problem here. That's not really a problem. And I have not been bit at all. I have not. We check for ticks. So.
No fevers.
I do have some markers for diabetes. I'm pre-diabetic, Mary. Darlene says B is raw honey. I told Kimmy to go bust in there. So no, we're revamping the diet, and we're we're adding these supplements. We're working on this stuff, and we are going to really try to get bigger equipment to do. Because so if we could get like the skid loader up here for a 4-day weekend once a month, the amount of milling that we could get done in 4 days with the equipment is a huge amount. So when Kira was here, the 3 of us, and we were moving logs on our own. We did not have equipment. We milled 12 logs in 1 day, and then the next day we milled 7, and then we were out of logs. But if we had the big equipment to move these big logs, because I have a bunch of 20-foot long beams that I need to cut, we would be able to get up early, mill all day long for 4 days, get everything set where it needed to be set, and then do some other things.
We had 1 day that we got 12 done in a day.
Yeah, 12, and then the next day we did like 7.
Yeah, as long as it's not fighting us.
Yeah, I mean, and that day we were physically moving them by hand. We did not have equipment. So if we had equipment, we could do that for 4 days and be able to get some stuff done. Hi, Susie. Hi, Don.
Old Dirt Road covers them. They cover themselves in peppermint oil to keep ticks away. I think you probably smell quite amazing.
Yeah.
Walking around smelling like peppermint oil, that's not bad. Podcast has not started yet. We're going to be doing that in the near future.
74 points after putting down 1 cup of coffee. Point it. Sometimes you need to recharge, and that's okay. You're right, KJ. That is real. But I really thought that we would bounce back this winter because we had discussed it. We were like, okay, we're gonna have to take it easy. We're gonna have to work really slow. We're not in a hurry, kind of thing. And then we just have not healed. So,
Bye, Drew.
bye, Drew.
Go pack them boxes.
Joss wants to know how's the podcast thing going. We're still in research for that. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay. What'd you say?
I said that'll be in the near future.
Oh, okay.
How long do you let the lumber sit before you actually use it? Love you, Drew.
So the big beams that we have up right now that are standing and still look absolutely gorgeous, they were green cut, and we put them up pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
So you can build with green lumber. You just need to, of course, your bigger beams and your stuff like that, they don't really warp. In fact, I haven't had any warp, and I have some that I cut 2 years ago, and they're still sitting out. And I didn't have any problems with them all.
The only time it's an issue is if you're like doing like something that's flatter, right? And you're sticking them together because they will shrink a little bit if they're green.
They don't shrink in length; they
Right.
shrink in width.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And me learning stuff.
Little Ridge Farm. I'm getting ready to start cleanup and rebuild my tiny home. We are totally doing cleanup. It is. It was so funny. I told Kim the other day. I was like, I felt like we really cleaned up before winter came.
You did.
And then everything's melted and it just looks terrible out there. It just looks like a dump. I'm like, where did all this stuff come from? Like, there's stuff everywhere.
There's a lot of the little things off of the hay, the twine that's on the hay, and
Yeah.
old tarps that are like shredding because of the weather, and you're like pieces of things here and there.
Justin is over guarding his bowl of food.
He's been guarding it since this morning.
Yeah. Doesn't want to eat it. He just doesn't want her to eat it. Oh, you had a fire in November? Little Ridge Farm. What is your first name? I am so sorry about that. I feel like I watched that, though. Did you do a video on it?
That's terrible.
No twist. No, we haven't had twist. Not at all. Even the ones that are standing up. And I was like, we'll see how those do. We may have to pull some down and recut them. But they are all doing really well. They look beautiful. So, okay. Hi, Mark. So no, they look really good. And our 6x10s that we cut, we haven't put those up. They're just laying. They're stacked with spacers in between them, and they look great.
Yeah. They're all stickered up.
The thing that happens is you do get like they'll get the little splits in them, the cracking in them, but all big beams do that. So, that's not. It's when you're inside the building and you like quickly put the building together with all green lumber, and then you hear those cracks. It's really scary, but because you hear them kind of crack. But that's
Our tiny home journey video.
is the one that you showed that. I feel like I saw that. So yeah, they're doing really well. Friday, we're going down. My son has the sawmill, and we're gonna go down and get it all set up and get it running for him. And he's gonna mill a bunch of the lumber that he has. And he actually purchased a edger to go with the sawmill. So that's gonna be really cool.
Yeah.
They're usually open year round here. What are we talking about? What's open year round? Have the soft serve ice cream shops opened yet? We only have, I don't know. And I'm telling you, so one of the things that I'm doing is getting sugar out of my diet. So I'm taking this very seriously. My body is screaming at me. So Yeah, so I'm just going to treat it like I have diabetes, and I'm going to eat accordingly to that, and I'm going to watch all my blood sugars and all of those things, and because I don't like not feeling well, so upstate New York. So I wouldn't know about the ice cream.
Ice cream doesn't have sugar, only frozen milk.
Lies. Tell me lies. Tell me sweet little lies.
Man,
Pennsylvania's had their ice cream going since Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the past 3 weeks.
those Amish like their ice cream.
Yeah. You know, Alicia, I've got a friend whose husband is getting having some surgery on his feet and getting his toes cut off, and it's no joke. I just don't want to do that. So,
Yeah.
my glamour shots for Kimmy back there. We have decided that this summer, once we can set up outside, that we're going to do our live chats. We're going to have dinner. So we're going to set a place for you guys. We're going to set, we're all at the table, and we're going to have dinner together. So that's how we're going to start doing our lives.
We usually talk about food anyway.
We really do. We really do. So funny.
Charlene says, Heather, I eliminated sugar and flour products from my diet, and it really made a difference in how I feel.
Yes. So when we were doing keto, which I've done keto a few times, and my body loves it. All of my arthritis goes away. I feel good. I sleep better. Like all of those things. All of those things happen. I don't know why we went off of it. Why did we go off of it?
Cost.
Yeah.
It's just,
Cost was a thing.
it's a lot cheaper to have a loaf of bread and have some peanut butter jelly sandwiches or have rice or stuff like that.
And quickness.
And quickness.
It was very quick to grab a sandwich.
Meat and veggies, especially when you don't have a garden going, can be expensive. You go to the store and, and just
Yes.
It's a little harder.
So that was why we ended up going off of it. But I have to say this time, is it because I went off the estrogen and my hormones got all crazy, and I don't know, but this time my body was like, okay, you're gonna have an awakening here because you need to eat this way and get it all under control.
That kind of weirded Tiffany said. I don't know what weird.
What did Tiffany?
Bob wants to know, can you bring us salad?
Absolutely. So yeah, I think that's how we're gonna end up doing it. We'll just, I don't know, sit you guys at the head of the table and we'll have dinner together. Because this is about the time that we usually have dinner in the summertime. So,
Yep.
And we do a lot of grilling out and that kind of thing. I just thought it would be fun. I thought it would be a little different and fun.
Yep.
Watching people eat. Tiffany says watching people. You know what it is? It's a conversation around the table. That's what it is. We're all sitting at the table and we're having a conversation. So if you have your plate and you're eating too, then we're all having dinner together.
Oh, I see.
It's only
That's what's
weird.
to
Yeah.
her.
It's only weird for the people that it's like 2 a.m. and they're trying to have dinner at 2 a.m.
We're just sitting here watching these people eat. No.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that is not weird. What's weird is people that have you watch them sleep.
Oh, that's
There's
such.
This video I come across, I have no idea how I came across it. And the guy literally, all of his videos are him sleeping. He's getting ready for bed. He takes his shirt off and he gets under the covers or not under the covers.
Yeah, he's in his boxers.
He's in his boxers and he goes to sleep with the camera at his feet. So you're seeing up his feet.
Yeah.
And I was like,
And it was like a train wreck that she couldn't get off. And she's like, this is
what
all
is
this. What is
happening?
happening?
What is and it was foreign. It was foreign, and
How many people were
he
on
had
watch it?
so many people
Yeah.
watching and so many comments, and I was like, what?
What's
My
happening?
mind is blown. Like, what?
Yes. Let's see. Susie says, I crave sugar, but it gives me a sugar hangover and makes me feel terrible. Exactly. And actually, low magnesium, you'll get a sugar craving if you have low magnesium.
Okay,
That's one
I'm
of the
weird
side
because
things.
I I don't get a sugar craving, but I get a craving for sweet drinks, like
Coke.
well, like Coke. But even if I don't have Coke, I'm like, I gotta have something, and so like I'll use the Crystal Light squeezers that you put in your water, and that takes that craving away. But I get that craving.
Oh, Tiffany said I've seen some do that on TikTok, and it's really weird.
It is so weird. Like, why?
Josh says, and we have to type our conversations. Exactly. Oh, Bob is trying to get your brother to tell stories about you.
He doesn't have any. Maybe the cave story or the swimming
Now
pool
I have
story.
some because we were in the military together.
Maybe the cave story, the swimming pool story. I don't know. Josh will probably make stuff up. I don't know.
That's funny. Have you looked into the shed with tools that have collapsed yet? No, because we were waiting for the snow to get off of it. It was actually pretty dangerous to go in there with the snow that was on it. So that is melting away, and we're at the point now where we could probably go in there. So we'll probably, we're supposed to get rain. It actually looks like it's going to rain right now, but what was it? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is supposed to be rain. So
Susie said after watching the video yesterday, she pulled out her vitamins and didn't eat sugar last night.
Oh, well, good. Not spilling the beans.
It's not the Kimmy show.
It's not the Kimmy show.
We don't need to go into stories about me.
Ouch.
I was watching it 2 a.m. Probably have weed and or have the munchies, so it's okay.
There were a couple of people that said, Chloe, you don't chew the wood. She's like, what? Do you want me to hug you? Come here. Come say hi to everybody. Up.
I'll be back.
Up. There she is. Oh, you have to turn this way, Chloe. Turn this way. Roll to the other side. Roll to the other. There she is. Oh, there she is. Pretty girls. She's such a pretty girl. Here you are. You pretty girl. You pretty girl. You are a pretty girl. Here comes Justin. He's like, oh. So if I start baby talking Chloe or Justin, Chloe's like, what is happening? That's my mom. You're just going to have to wait a second and then she'll be done and then I can put you down. Ooh, belly rubs. No belly rubs.
She's like you got offended or something.
You ready? There you go. Don't chew the wood. Coming over here for a drink, Justin? Yeah, Kim totally has stories. That's exactly why it's like zip. Have you thought of a barn raising this summer? Maybe when Dutch and the others are there. I don't know, is Sean and Brandy coming up?
Probably for the get together. I would assume.
That would be kind of fun. I'm hoping the barn is up by then. So we've actually started going to a new church, and it's called the Cowboy Church. And
Hi, Lauren. Speaking of the military.
Hi, Lauren.
What?
Lauren probably has stories.
We have stories about Lauren. Anyways, it's good to see you. Hey,
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
I forgot what I was saying. Now I got totally distracted. Anyway, we joined a new church, and it's the Cowboy Church. It's local to us, and one of the ladies was like, well, talking to Kim about what are you guys doing, yada yada. And so Kim was telling her, she's like, oh, you just need to announce it, and everybody will show up. Like, everybody will show up, and it's a pretty good-sized church. So it's pretty exciting that it was like a group of people, but of course we will be YouTubing it, and some people don't want to be on YouTube, but that's okay.
Yeah. It'll be really cool because a lot of those guys, they know how to build and stuff, As long as they don't take it over. That's the thing.
Well, and I get extremely high levels of anxiety with people helping. It's taken a long time for Randy to be able to come over and help, and me not completely lose it. Oh, Brenda says that they'll come help. Awesome.
Really?
What? Do you have a hole in your lip? What's going on? Lauren, what are you up to these days? Kelly's gonna help. See, that's actually who I'd really like to have come as the other YouTubers that are around, and because we definitely do that. Heather, if you have a complete plan ready, they cannot take over.
Well. Men tend to, I mean, this is just my experience and what I've seen, right? And I don't mean all men, but from what I've seen, men will come in and be like, well, I don't like this idea or what you're doing here or what you're doing there, and then they change it. And then they make it a whole new thing. So
well, and the thing with this, there is a plan. It is Barn Geeks. I bought the plan from him, and what he has done is he's gone around all over the East and pulled down these barns and built these plans off of these 200-year-old barns. So these are barns that have stood the test of time, and these plans go with them. So there's not a lot that can be changed. The biggest thing is the more people that are here, the more room for injury, because you have to have people that you can communicate with and that kind of understand what you're doing, and it's really fun working with the other YouTubers because they know how to be filmed, and that sounds silly to say, but it is a real thing. When you're trying to film something and build something, you actually have to get out of the way of the camera, but you also have to be safe, so that people can actually see what's going on. So we are planning on, we have 4 GoPros, so we're going to set one up on each corner, and then we do have the drone, so we're going to get somebody who's licensed to fly the drone who will hover it over the building. So we won't go any higher, we won't go as high as the top of the trees, but we can hover right around the building and be okay. And then we'll have, our little cameras that we do close-ups and stuff. But I definitely want to be really careful about injury because these are huge logs. We're talking about 6 by 8 by 20 feet long. That'll be going up. And I think what we're going to end up doing is building our rafters on the ground, and there's 5 of them, and then they'll be lifted up and set into place. So that's you just got to be really careful. I do have to say, apparently the guys at the Cowboy Church, they have done this with multiple people, maybe not this particular barn plan, but they've gotten together and they've helped each other put up houses before. So everybody gets together and they work really hard, and as long as they're used to communicating to each other, then that'll be fine. But again, they have to want to be filmed, because I know you guys want to see it.
And we'll have to give him some instruction, because I know when Randy first started helping us, he didn't understand what filming meant, and he would always be like in front of the camera, and we're like, Randy, you're in front of the camera again. So I have my nurse face on.
You have your nurse face?
Yeah, that's what Carol says. I don't know what that is. Or I just smile. Just sit and smile.
Just you need the good old fashioned barn. I think it would be a lot of fun having everybody over, and we wanted to do a pig in the ground last year. That's what we were planning. Oh, it's a dog party. Chloe, what are you doing?
They decided to play.
And look at, she's
What's
like,
happening?
He's hiding from me. I was winning. So we'll see as we get closer. I know the plan for now is I'd really like to get, for the main framing done, I'd like to get everything milled for that, and then have people come out and let's put the framing up. And then we've got the second floor, and I'm possibly want to do the plans call for 2x6s or 2x8s decking on the ceiling, and then you put on your metal. And same with the second floor. It all helps with the racking of it so that it doesn't rack. That's going to take a lot of lumber to do. A lot of trees. So hopefully we can get some trees delivered, because yes, we have a lot of trees, but we are on a mountain, so they're hard to get to. And I also don't want to take down all my trees. So that's another thing. A large lunch at a barn. So that's what we had planned to do last year when we had raised our pig. We were just going to do a pig in the ground and do a big luau cook. And the ladies from the church that we were going to, we'd all talked about bringing sides and that kind of thing. And I don't really know what we're going to do this year. So I don't know what we've decided to do. It's probably not going to be that, because we want to get the barn up. We're going to start milling at the 1st of June, I think is our tentative first milling day, and weather permitting. And then, like I said, we're just going to basically mill as much as we possibly can. We've got a bunch of logs sitting there waiting for us, so we're going to mill all of that, see what we can get all the framing out of that, and then we'll have to either... I do have a space up behind me here that is, there are some trees there that can be taken down, and part of that can be cleared up and cleaned up. Justin, you don't get to get petted while we're on the video.
I try not to, but you guys saw it.
Do you need to go outside? It's a hard yes.
I'll take him out.
So at that point, we'll figure out and then start doing the decking once the framing is up. So Justin definitely wants camera time. It's so funny because when I'm videoing and you see Chloe just follows me around. Justin is usually, he's either guarding his food, because that's his thing he does, or he's sleeping under the bed. Oh, Kelly's got a friend that is whose son is a logger and has access to logging trucks to deliver logs.
Nice.
Fried chicken does sound good, KJ. Justin, I'm trying to find you a girlfriend. Putting your profile on because we can't dating app. So I did buy Justin to be a stud dog, but he's a wackadoo. So he does not have, he actually has the personality of a Jack Russell Terrier, not a Corgi. And he does like to herd, but he's really soft, so the animals can push him off. So he's not a really good breeding candidate. So he is going to get neutered.
But we're not going to do it the way we did the other
No, not like the goats. So we're thinking the month of June, we could be milling like crazy. We're just going to mill like crazy for like 30 days. And then, or until we run out of logs. And then I'm really, really hoping that the barn is completed by August. That would be my hope. That would be the goal. Because we really want to take the month of August. It's really hot. We want to take a break, take a physical break. Bye, you guys. You have a good night too.
Jag wants puppies, so if you ever raise any, let her know.
I will eventually. Chloe has a bad elbow, so she also will not be bred. But I've got some feelers out looking for another female corgi, and then I'll have her bred out to someone else. So I actually am going to. I love breeding. I love raising puppies. We will be picking up some sheep and doing some sheep herding, and I loved trialing, so we'll be doing that. So, you know, I want a pretty dog that will work. Chloe actually loves to herd. She's got great drives and really, really enjoys it, but she has that bad elbow. And it is a really bad elbow. It's a terrible elbow. Like, she's probably definitely going to have arthritis when she's older. Today is Justin's gotcha date. 4 years ago. I brought him home. That came up on Facebook.
How old was he when you got him?
8 weeks.
3 weeks. Nice.
Yeah, I would. I'm probably not gonna get one until the barndominium is up. It depends. You know, we're really wanting to have done. We've kind of been making a list of things that we want done before next winter. One of the things is a bigger pinned-in dog area because we take them out on leash, which is fine in the evening. Like, we do have a big owl that shows up, and we do have whatever, you know, cougars that show up in this area and that kind of stuff. So I would never just let them out if I was not home watching, or at night they'll have to go out and be monitored. But to be able to just open the door and let them be out during the day whenever it's really nice.
Yeah, you don't want a dog smaller than this living out in the country.
No.
So
We have eagles.
No dachshunds. No little, you know, like.
You'd have to have the big dachshunds, not the little ones. Yeah, not the minis. Because the big dachshunds are about the size of the corgis. But yeah, no, it's a real big deal. And we're gonna have definitely a covered area that is a smaller one where they can just go in and out, but it's covered, so it has a roof on it, so that it is animal proof. Nothing could get in and get them, but then they can let themselves in and out. Because that is a little bit of a pain, having to walk them out all the time. So that's one thing that we definitely want done. We want the firewood closer, so we're going to do a little bit of a deck off the front. It probably won't be the whole deck, but then we're going to stack the firewood right out there. So we'll be able to walk out on the front deck and get the firewood.
Brian. Hi, Brian Holler.
Hi, Brian.
There was a question, how old is Chloe? Jack wants to know.
Chloe is 7. She's 7.
Happy gotcha, dear Justin. KJ says.
So, Bob, I had a miniature dachshund. I had a dappled gray with a blue eye. A mini one. He was a hoot. He was a hoot.
Brian says, having the same problems you have with the legs. Nothing works.
Have you tried magnesium?
Estella. Hi, Estella.
So what I've researched is this is the one that we decided to get. So it is so Spring Valley, they did a test. I can't remember who did it, but it was an independent, and they got a whole bunch of vitamins that were just over the counter for sale. And Spring Valley was the one that tested closest to being exactly what they say it is. There were other ones that weren't. So this one is calcium, magnesium, and zinc plus vitamin D, and it is for bone and muscle health. There were some other things that we were told to do. So potassium would be another thing to add. Hi, Stella.
Jack says her Corey is 13 and a half.
Oh. Man, I love corgis. I raised German Shepherds for 15 years, maybe a little bit longer than that. And sold dogs to the military and, did Schutzen training and competition obedience and agility and all that kind of stuff. And
hi, Josh.
Love my German Shepherds. But I actually, bless you, rescued a corgi who was going to be put down. She was extremely dominant, extremely alpha, and this lady's sister had bought, actually up in New York, had bought her from a breeder, and then she was too much dog for them, and then so she gave her to my client that I knew, that she actually bought a pair of guard German Shepherds from me, and she bred lemurs for zoos.
That
And
would be fun.
yeah. So she anyway, she called me. She said, I don't know what to do with this dog. And I said, well, let me bring it home. Let me bring her home. Let me see if she's trainable. Let me see what's going on. Let me see if I can figure it out. I wasn't 20 minutes from her house and she called me and she's like, I don't want her back. The dynamics in my house, she's been running my other dogs to the point that it was really affecting the quality of life for her other dogs. And she was very dominant. She was like, she did not realize she was small. She thought she was a Great Dane, and like corgis ought do. And she was, I'm gonna pick fights with every one of these German Shepherds. Like, she really did try. I loved her. I absolutely loved her. But I like dominant dogs.
She does.
She was just, and she was small. She was really small. She was micro size. She was so.
And it's funny because it talks about like our personalities. Heather's very alpha. And so she likes her dogs that way. And I'm very like kind of more soft, and I like a dog that's a little more soft, more cuddly.
Yeah. Well, the problem is because I am very dominant. Soft dogs look like I abuse them. Like, Justin acts like he's abused sometimes, and he's not. Like, he's not. But soft dogs don't do well around me because of that, where dominant dogs take advantage of you.
Like, I want a border collie, and they're very soft and like just agreeable and lovey. And
so, Bob, there's not on purpose. So he asked if there are mini corgis. There's mixes that they do. This one, she just happened to be a runt of the litter, and she never got very big. So she was spayed. She wasn't a dog that was going to be bred. She wasn't breed quality.
It's interesting that she had that attitude, though, being a runt.
Yeah, she was like.
I thought runts were always like.
No, she fought for her food. She was like, "You think Chloe's bad?" Where did you get your supplements, Heather? From Walmart. I did get them from Walmart. And I'll tell you, I got them because of that study that I watched. Because I was always like, well, Walmart quality, they're not going to be that good, yada, yada. And then I came across this independent study of the different places that you could purchase. And that store's brand is what it was.
Hi,
that
Colleen.
store's brand. Hi, Colleen. Justin getting his nails trimmed. Yeah. He's so funny. He is so funny.
Hi.
I miss Josh leaving.
Hi, girl.
Gotta wash Max off. He went swimming in the ocean.
Sounds fun.
So that's where'd he go? I lost him. Brian. That's with the research that I did. That's this was the one that kind of came up to get. And I know that I'm low in vitamin D. Zinc was recommended with the magnesium because it helps the magnesium actually work, so you retain more of it instead of it just flushing through your kidneys. And we also know that we need calcium. So that kind of fit the bill for us.
Brian says he's trying oil today. Is that the castor oil that you're trying out?
Alicia has the same info about this brand. Yeah, I was really impressed. And the funny thing is so I was looking at some that was like $17 for the bottle, and it was less than this. This was like $6. It was like $5.
Yeah, so we actually looked at two,
Yeah.
and it was a regular magnesium, and it was like $10, and it was a big bottle of 250, and then it was like the fancy magnesium that's a little bit slower release, and it looked like it was a little bit better, but it was like 150 pills, and it was like more than double the cost.
Yeah, it was set like
And
almost
then
$18.
And then we found this, and
Yeah.
we're like, what? And it's inexpensive.
Yeah.
And like,
So that was
that's
really
awesome.
cool. So I'm excited to see how this works. I'll definitely let you guys know next Tuesday, because then we'll have been on it for a week.
Mary says take it at night.
I took it. I usually take everything at night. I took this stuff as soon as I got home.
Brian says it's magnesium oil. We read something, or Heather read something about castor oil being really good for like the pain in the shoulder.
Yeah.
And
the
for, like,
shoulder,
bone
the bone
spurs?
spurs, it would shrink the bone spurs or help break them up. You can usually find coupons for that brand too. So yeah, I'm really excited to see how it works. I really hope that it helps and can get us back into just not hurting. Because I feel like we have a really good work ethic. I feel like, I mean, we are really good about taking breaks and resting, but we work hard when we're working. So, you know.
This winter was a little bit different, but
That's because
usually we work hard.
We just hurt. We've just hurt all winter long. We came into winter hurting.
And just being tired.
Yeah.
Like exhausted. And before she went to the doctor, I mean, I just thought, man, I'm like getting old. I'm just so tired all the time.
Yeah.
And when she got her labs back and it said she was low on everything, I'm like, I bet I am too.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's that time. Do you guys have any questions?
Last question.
Susie says, be careful with calcium. Our age should never be over 10 on lab work. That's how I found out I had
Parathyroid tumors.
Oh, okay.
Things
Mary
like that.
said castor oil will make babies squirt out.
Yes, and they also help just for you farmers and or homesteaders. If a dog is eating a bunch of stuff and has like a blockage, give it castor oil.
You could give it that or Vaseline.
And I've seen it from experience. I had a dog that every time I left would get really upset and he would
Bye,
eat
Bob.
everything in the garage. And yeah, the castor oil worked. So, bye Bob, have a good night.
We are getting super excited for the fact that it's staying lighter longer and the warmer weather. Like, I am very ready for the warmer weather. And right now we're in mud season and
And I hate it.
it's terrible, but luckily enough it dries up really quick here. Of course, if we do get the 4 days of rain that they said we were going to get, I don't know, we might be parking on the gravel and walking in because it just gets so bad. But being at the top of the hill, it dries up pretty quick. So we don't have it as bad as Courtney and Riley have it.
Yeah.
Like, they have it terrible.
Chuck! Hi Chuck!
Chuck, you made it!
You got here just in time for us to get off.
Let's see. Susie takes. Where did it go?
Susie,
5,000 vitamin D's a day. Wow, girl. Well, so they gave me, the doctor gave me that, I don't know, it was a couple years ago to boost everything up because I had moved from Washington. And I feel like they need to send me that again because that made a huge difference. But they only had me do that for like 3 days in a row, and then I went on regular dose of it. I think it was 2,000 a day.
Whoa, Chuck, that's terrible. 90s? I could not do it. I don't like it.
Oh, Tim says, I have friends in North Dakota and it looks like mid-winter on their Facebook pictures.
Wow.
Look up Redmond salt, Carol says. Yeah, Colleen, we got it on and off today too, but very, very light. It was not bad. It was not bad. I'm ready for winter to be done. It's April. It's like, this is April.
And it started in like November.
Yeah, because when it did exactly what the Farmer Almanac said it was going to do. It was going to take forever to get cold, but once winter came, it was going to come in with a vengeance, and it did.
And it started in November, and here it is April. Like
Yeah.
November, December, January, February, March, April. Like that's
Yep.
half a
Half the
year.
year.
That's ridiculous.
You know, and I'll tell you, that's the thing is our building season is really short to build things outside, and we do have. We need to rebuild something for the goats. I think we've officially, one of the other things, okay, so this is, I know we're supposed to be getting off, but I hope you guys want to hang out for just a little bit longer. One of the things that we talked about, we've been writing down the things we definitely want to have done by next winter because of things that were an issue this winter.
And Bob's missing this.
Bob's
we
totally
actually
missing
wrote
this.
things down.
I know, we wrote things down. So the barn is a pretty good distance from here, from where we're at. And with us having the predator problem with the big cats. We don't want our livestock to be that far from us. So it is official that is a shop. It's actually not a barn. It'll look like a barn. It'll have the potential of being a barn, but it's going to be a shop. But for all winter long, we want the animals just a little bit closer, because getting to them to feed is definitely a thing. And having them closer to where we are, we can hear things a little bit better. So I think we're gonna do. I want to do something similar to what Al on Lumna Acres did with his little portable barns, and set up 3 or 4 of those over here. So we definitely need 1. If we could get 2, then we're probably gonna overwinter some pigs, because pigs just do better in the wintertime than they do in the summertime. So, and then we would be processing like right now, is how it would go.
That would be great.
So, and then we just wouldn't have to deal with them all summer long, and we could bring in some chickens to help clean everything up, and then be able to do the deep litter method, bring in the chickens to dig everything up, and then pull that out for the garden area. But so that was something that we have to have 1. We'd like to build 2 of those. So those are something that if we can, I need to get what goes in the kit so I can mill that, and we can maybe just get it milled and set it aside. And then once the barn thing goes up, then we can maybe quickly put one of those up. I think they're pretty fast to put up. So that our fencing needs to be taller.
Yes.
The goats got out, and because the snow got so high, they could just go right over the fence. So we have to have.
Because how high is the fence right now?
That's 4 foot.
And the snow was 4 foot in places.
Yeah.
Like we were 3 to 4 feet.
Yeah.
So
I think we need 7-foot fence. That way, if the snow goes up, they still can't get out, and it would be high enough that we could still run an electric wire around the top. So even if it was high up, if they would touch it and they would zap them, so they would be fine. So we definitely need that. So we need the goat barn rebuilt and the higher fencing redone. If we can get a second one done, we're gonna do pigs next winter. We have 1 rooster here, and that's it. So we're actually, and he's going to end up going to freezer camp because he decided to attack me the other day. So he's not going to be sticking around for very long.
And we're prioritizing those over like the garden, right?
Yeah.
Because right now we're just going to focus on the planter boxes we have.
Yes.
For like salads and the small stuff.
Exactly. And I really would like to get the greenhouse over the planter boxes done so that we could extend our season as long as we possibly can. I know. So Liz and Mike put a little wood heater in theirs to try to do some year-round stuff, and I have actually that exact same wood heater, and so we've kind of talked about doing maybe a sauna room or something like that. But if we could extend, we are going to be putting in a self-heating greenhouse. And that's where you dig down 10 feet, and you put the tubes, and the earth heats and cools the greenhouse. So it could just go year round. So this one will be a temporary one until that one's up. And then we'll have, gosh, we're just going to grow all kinds of cool things in there. So we're like really, really, really excited about that.
Yep.
Because if we could grow, a couple of little patio lemons, or, those kinds of things where they just have those small trees, we'll be able to plant those and grow those and have lemons and probably avocados and maybe some pomegranate. Like, there's just a bunch of fun stuff that we want to do in that.
Artichokes. The A-frame's going to be a little bit down the road, Chuck.
Yeah, and so with the pigs and stuff and the goats, we're going to have just a lot of compost that's going to be happening. And my thought is to just rotate critters and let the critters do most of the work, breaking down the bedding, and then just easily being able to go in there and clean that up. So that's what we're focusing on this year. This build season, and the build season is so short. So we're really, really hoping to get some heavy equipment. I don't know if we could lease something for the summer or what. I don't know, maybe talk to some local the places and see if maybe they'd like to sponsor something or whatever. I don't know. We're not that big yet.
Carol says, a sauna room, is that for you? Yes.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Well, we were talking about maybe trying to heat the greenhouse, but
Jack wants to know if hay's readily available.
I do have. It's not. We went last year, but I found somebody that's local that does sell some hay, and so the one thing about those, they're like 12 feet by 24 feet long. They're not real big, and they could definitely be smaller. They could be 10 by 20 for the animals that we're putting them in. That would be just fine, which is what we have them in now. Then we would have, a 10 by 10 stall and a 10 by 10 feed room. So that critters, all their hay could be in there and their grain could be in there. So it's set up for simple. Like that's the other thing that we want is simple. We want it to be very low maintenance. And so we're going to be working on developing that kind of stuff this year, just so that everything is easier and streamlined and simple.
Yep.
So it's got to be quick. It's got to be fast.
Simple is great because we want to put our focus into the building.
Yes.
And less into the maintenance and
right.
maintaining.
I mean, we still will have to take a day to go get water, but we're talking about some self-watering things and that kind of stuff. So we don't have to be trying to do that and all that kind of stuff.
Colleen wants a self-heated greenhouse too for their second greenhouse.
So I'm really hoping that.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Not this summer, obviously, but next summer, our focus is the self-heating green. The self-heating greenhouse and the, probably the A-frame. I saw someone mention the A-frame.
Yeah. Chuck did.
But we got 2 tons of hay this year and it wasn't enough. So I think I definitely want to double that. We now have 4 female goats, so there's a real big probability that, we'll be having, our 4 goats. If each one of those have twins, then we've got 12 goats. Well, real fast.
Bud is not a girl, even though he acts like one.
That's true. He can't be.
So we have 3.
We have 3 girls.
3 girls.
I eventually want 4 milking goats. That's where my brain's at. Next, lab work. Have them check calcium, vitamin D, and your thyroid. So they have checked those. Everything was super low. My thyroid is normal. We always check my thyroid because it runs in my family. And mine is always normal. It's always good. My hormone levels were, I had no hormones in my body. So we are doing hormone therapy right now, back on estrogen. And, my vitamin D was low. My vitamin Bs were low. Like all of that stuff was low. So I'm taking all of that stuff also. This was the magnesium was what was not in the vitamins that they had given me, but they also don't check for magnesium, but I have all the symptoms for this, so that's the reason why I'm taking it.
Jack said she learned something new. She's going to check out what self-heating greenhouse is.
So there's an older gentleman in Nebraska, I cannot remember his name, but just look up, just Google it on YouTube, and he has a video out. Somebody went to his place, but he is he has a year-round garden. He's 90 years old. He has a year-round garden in Nebraska,
and he's growing stuff like avocados and citrus fruits, all of that kind of stuff.
It
is amazing.
Yes. So that is something that I'll have to I'll Google that, Susie. So that's when I saw his video, I was like, I absolutely want something like that. But I'd really like to do a post and beam or a timber frame greenhouse. So I want a very beautiful greenhouse for that building. So that's something that once the shop is up, we may be able to mill that kit out all winter long, so
And
that
just
yes.
bam, 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 bam. Get it.
Yeah, so like
That'd be awesome.
this time of year, we'd be able to start digging. Digging up the we might actually be able to do it in the fall. It would be better to do in the fall. Dig up the ground, lay down your tubes, fill it back up. So that's, you're not 10 feet deep. You dig 10 feet down, and then they have, it's like 17 or whatever of these huge tubes. And the tubes, the ground cools and heats the air inside those tubes, and then those tubes come out into your greenhouse, and then you have a fan system that kind of blows everything around. And it keeps it like 80 degrees in there all the time. So regardless of what it's like negative 30.
Can you imagine eating like this, like fresh tomato in the dead middle of winter, like
strawberries,
homegrown?
You have like strawberries,
like not the crap you buy at the store that has no flavor.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
I literally cannot wait. I mean, that is something that I am so excited about. And then maybe even setting up bees, because most people send their bees to California. That's actually a thing that happens here. The bigger places take all their bees to California, and then they bring them back. So, like, I think they're real close to starting to bring them back.
What would be really cool is if you had a greenhouse like that, right? And you had a way that the bees could get in the greenhouse, but they also could get out of the greenhouse. So they could, because they like to go really far, and they like to,
Well, I would think like in the summertime. Well, no, because it cools itself too. But usually, I wonder if you had those big kind of fans at the end, that they usually put on the regular greenhouses. That you could have something where they could get out there, because they're like louvered.
Yeah.
But you would want to keep it in. So I don't know if we would end up having those bees in there that are.
It'd be awesome.
Just pollinator bees.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Instead of honeybees, I'd like to have actual honeybees in there. Give that a try.
Because you could do those big bumblebees, because I don't think those ones stings.
I don't think they do either. Yeah, Alicia knows who I'm talking about, the guy in Nebraska.
Tangerine trees would be nice.
Wouldn't a timber frame greenhouse be incredible?
Yeah.
It'd be absolutely incredible. So that's kind of my plan with the shop, is then we'll be able to move the mill in. That's also another thing. I'd really like to get the mill covered, but if I can't get the mill covered, then it's going to be just pulled inside for the winter, and then we could mill inside there. So,
and honestly, the mill being covered is great, because when we're out there in the summer, there is no trees around there. No shade. So it is full on summer sun the whole time you're out there.
Yeah. And you cannot put anything up. You can't get those little pop-up cover shade things and just set those up because of the wind.
It's too windy.
And it blows them away. I've had 3 of them, and
it
just destroys them. They go down the mountain, and who knows where they end up. But so we really can't do something like that. So setting that up where it's in the shade and it's covered, and we could still roll logs down to it, like open up some slider doors and roll the log onto it, and then shut it up and mill or whatever. So that's kind of my hope for that. I really don't think we're going to get that done this year. So that is definitely a next year project. But if we could mill all winter, if we could get logs delivered before they shut down the roads for the weight restrictions, then we could mill all winter and be able to get some stuff done.
I'm so excited about, the future. Like right now is a tough time for us. I mean, like last summer, winter, and this winter, but we know, we have faith that, number one, that we got God in our life, and He's gonna keep helping us move forward to accomplish these things. And when all of this is said and done, just imagine how amazing this place is gonna be.
It's gonna be so beautiful.
Like it really, truly is.
All you guys will have to come visit us.
Yeah, we'll have a big old barbecue. Maybe then
we'll have to be the 32 people that show up for our lives are invited.
Maybe we'll do the pig in the ground for that.
Yeah. Oh, that would be so much fun.
If we had 32 people, maybe a couple pigs, but.
You know, I think the thing is right now things are slowing down for a reason. They're slow for a reason. One, I do know that YouTube channels that grow slower, they have very loyal people that watch. So that's the one thing that Sean Dutch was telling me. He's like he spent 8 years building his channel, and he's like, I have loyal viewers, and a lot of you guys came from him.
Yeah.
And you know, that's what we want. We want to inspire. We want, you know, people that become our friends and that kind of thing. And it's like really exciting. And I would love to be able to open the doors and have a get together here with people. Good night, Brian. I hope you feel better. Come back next Tuesday. I'll tell you how this magnesium works.
Bye, Brian.
Oh, cool. Susie's coming up. She's going to cook.
Nice.
You know, but so I think this is going to be the year for us. I really feel like it. I feel like this, as long as we can get moving on this barn and get that done, and get this building in here done, it's just going to be really cool, and we're going to be way more comfortable this year than we have been. We've been trudging through and really keeping our attitudes good, and this winter's been the hardest winter, and I've had a lot of people say that emotionally for them.
And for those of you that are prayers, if you could just pray for us for safety on the builds, for our health to be better, so that we can have the energy
Carol, I
to
just
go
looked
in.
at plate tickets.
I would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, we would really
And
appreciate
for those
that.
of you that don't pray, that's okay. Just say good thoughts.
Yeah,
Send it out in the atmosphere, wherever.
absolutely. So I think that's kind of where we're going with things. I do think there's going to become a point where we are going to be bringing in other people to help us on maybe a little bit more of a full-time situation. As soon as YouTube will let me pay somebody to be up here helping us with this harder stuff, I'm going to be doing that.
We're gonna have a handyman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's probably going to be Randy.
handyman Stan.
Or Stan. We need a Stan. We'll just change his name.
Handyman Stan. Randy will be here, and we'll call him Stan.
We'll call him Stan. It has been a hard winter. Thank you. She said we're both in your prayers, in her prayers. I've had multiple people message me and just say that this winter has hit them harder than out of the last 3 winters. That this winter, more people were dealing with SAD syndrome up here. We had a very gray winter. I feel like it was very gray. We had a lot of freezing. The temperature fluctuation and the dropping. Normally we only drop into the negatives in February is what I've researched in the last 2 winters. You have about a week in February that's really cold, and then the rest of it's basically in the 30s.
We were doing it in December, weren't we? It was
Yeah.
in December.
December
that
we were frozen in December, because then you go back for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like in the negatives
Yeah.
while you were gone.
It's crazy.
Charlene, we appreciate that a lot.
We are so grateful that you guys are.
Prayers work.
Yeah, that you guys are praying for us, that you guys are supporting us and encouraging us, and that you come and you want to be part of this, and we
You want to
really
hang out with
appreciate it
us? Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna, before the stove completely goes out, I'm gonna get off of here.
Before Kimmy gets too mushy. Love you all.
Thank you guys. See you next Tuesday.
On my channel.
That's right. It is
Baking
on.
Up Country.
It is on Kimmy's channel next week.
We'll see you next week.
All right. Bye, guys. Oh, my knees.
Your knees, your knees.
My knees.